And then there's the runabouts, which are the big sit-downs, the fastest skis, but also the biggest skis and the heaviest skis.
We're going upwards of 90 miles an hour. We have 1500 cc motor in it actually with a turbocharger on it. Big boost, 24 pounds of boost we run in it. We have, you know, laptops that got to hook up to this thing. You got to tune it all in. They got to program it, calibrate it. It's crazy. It's basically like a Lamborghini on water. We have 500 horsepower. Thing's super quick. It's a lot to hold on to. It'll throw you back in the seat.
We're the only motorsports that doesn't have brakes, you know, so you're whipping through and in and out of there, and nobody has brakes. So you really have to know, and you have to feel your craft, and you have to know what it's going to do and be sure it's predictable, and just cross your fingers and hope that the guy next to you knows what he's doing also.
So it's all about throttle control and knowing your machine, when to let off and when to hammer it. The kind you see with people standing on with the hand pole or the handbars that move up and down, that's a stand-up. Those were the original, you know, skis that started this whole thing of over 35 years ago.
They're lighter, the maneuvers you can do on them are way more aggressive. The best way to explain it is motocross on the water. Normally 20 guys on the pro gate. The skis are super fast. You know, most people don't know how powerful these watercraft are. You know, the skis that we're racing now are upwards of 180 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 2.2, 2.3 seconds, you know, you're standing. So you got this intense acceleration, and it's, you know, you got to hold onto a set of handlebars.
So there's a lot that goes into it, you know, and also we're running almost 70 miles an hour on stand-up jet skis within inches of other riders to the first turn. So it's probably one of the coolest things ever, honestly.
Whatever way you're turning, you want that foot to be forward, so you always switch feet for each turn, and you know, try and stay centered and keep a good center of balance and keep the ski centered and not be too crazy with it, you know, and throw the ski all over the place.
It's more about you know, endurance, fitness, balance, especially control.
Stand-up ski class is probably, I think, in my eyes, one of the harder classes just because it's so physically taxing, muscular, cardio, everything. You know, mental as well. You've got to push through the pain, but it's hands down the funnest racing.
Today on Pro Watercross, the final round of racing from historic, almost heaven, Charleston, West Virginia, is underway. Who will be crowned national champion? It's a double points weekend, so anything can happen. Tour Charleston, West Virginia, a town that holds a lot of rich history.
Mike, as you can tell, a little bit of difference in the sound. Uh-oh.
Bill Austin almost lost his head there. Came out, like he came out, the band hadn't snapped yet. You can see his head snap back, ripped him off of his boat right there, 182. So I see red people, folks.
I see red people, too. That's going to be a nice tattoo. Couple people getting wrapped up into that.
Not quite sure if that was a band failure. We'll let you know once we know up here.
Looked like a band.
At the announcing tower, Brian O'Rourke has now joined us on the tower. Great to see Brian O here.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing, Brian O? What's it? You got to be stoked to be somewhat close to home.
Yeah, this is a close one. 6 hours isn't bad. Man, I am blessed more than you know, Mike. We had I wish you were at devotional this morning. I know you weren't, but that wasn't a slam.
You know what? No, you know I needed to be, and I think you know why. We all lost somebody special in the industry.
And we obviously prayed for the family But we've been going through it over there in the Team Faith pits, and you know, we just it's a testament. You know, I'm a preacher, but it doesn't mean that bad things don't happen or circumstances in my life doesn't get me down. And last night when I laid my head on the pillow, I was looking up to God going, really? What's going on here? But what was great about the devotional today is that we learned that, God's still God, and he's got a plan, and we don't have to know. The scripture we used was lean not on your own understanding, but trust in the Lord with all your heart and your soul and your might.
Sure.
And so that's what we're going to do. We're not going to try to figure out why. We're just going to trust that God's got a good plan, and that's what we're all about. And Kelly made it to practice, believe it or not, after a full-on motor swap this morning before races started. Tried to get up early and went to bed at midnight, so we couldn't get up as early as we needed to make the first practice. But thankfully, there's enough sport boats out here that they had 2 practices.
Yeah, there you go. Something like St. George. At least it wasn't that bad.
At least it wasn't that bad, yeah. Now, we're blessed. Real thankful to be here. Looking forward to the day. A lot of sport boats out there, which is our class. And then, of course, we got our rookie Dawson Newby on the ski amateur ski stock class. And I don't want to tell him. I hope he's not listening, but he's actually doing really well, Mike, in the class.
Fantastic.
He doesn't know. Well, you just keep it the way it is.
Well, his biggest fan, Skylar from Arena Cross, is going to be here this weekend as well.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
cool.
we'll have to get them guys together.
Yeah.
Reacquaint them.
Excellent.
Well, we appreciate you coming up here and hanging out with us. We'll go with our Team Faith opening ceremonies right after this race here. We figured we'd change some rubber band, get you up here and talk about what it's like to be this close to home. And I mean, this is the Bible Belt right here.
Yeah,
ain't no doubt about it. Gotta love it though.
Yeah, we had a lot of people at devotional this morning, and some people that weren't with the sport, I guess, heard that we were going to do it and came, and that was really cool. And Mike, if I could, I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to some of our sponsors, because we have been really struggling this year, and it may not look like it, but we are. We lost a big sponsor in Pilot Fuels, and I shouldn't even say their name, but we lost it, and it really hurt us bad.
We spent too much money on the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Or, I mean the Browns.
Something.
One of the Cleveland teams.
But it's folks like Jet Lift and Fly Racing and Western Power Sports and Pirelli even, and Jet Dynamics and Pro Watercraft Racing and even the Pro Watercross Tour really help us get here. We want to be competitive. We like competing, and we feel like it's what God's told us to do, to be an influence to young people that look up to athletes.
Well, you got a lot of great competitors on your team.
We do. We do, and Kelly Smith is quite the talent. But in the end, it's about Jesus, and it's about telling people about him and telling people that we love him and that he loves us, and he made a way for us to get to heaven. And our sponsors, all the sponsors that help us, AMSOIL, K&N, just all the sponsors that are, there's 26 of them, by the way, and you guys read them off every time.
Well, we try to pay homage where homage is due.
You do, and I really appreciate that, because they're what pay the bills to get us down the road to compete and to preach.
Right, and how is getting the word out? I mean, the word on the street. I noticed, this. Obviously, I wasn't there today. I was a little bit late getting to the site. It was a long drive up from Florida, and I forgot that I was 49.
Yeah, hey, those long marathon drives don't get any easier, I'll tell you.
Especially when you're rolling solo.
Yeah, man.
But how's everything going with the Team Faith devotional program? And I know that you guys not only do personal watercraft racing, but you guys do other sports.
Yeah, we do the GNCC Racing Series, which is the largest off-road racing series in the world. And we also do the National AMSOIL Arena Cross Series, Road to Ricky Carmichael's Road to Supercross. And the devotionals are off the chain, man. I mean, people are hungry for the word. They don't mind the fact that we might beat them on the track, but then they'll come listen to us. I know there's probably a few people that ain't gonna come listen to them guys.
You're so humble.
Well, I probably should have listened to my own devotional this morning, right?
It's all good.
But no, the devotional part's really good. Our race program's been struggling a little bit of late. Man, we just got nothing for that Sam Nemi. He is a top-notch competitor with some top-notch equipment.
Yeah, you got that right. Well, Brando, we'll be right back with the blessing here in just a couple of moments. We'll go ahead and call this Vet Ski GP race. I'd like to reintroduce my partner in crime, Miss Dawn Dawson.
All right, thanks, Mikey. Well, Bill Austin with a great start on that outside, and I do believe that was a band malfunction, Mike. That looked like nobody got docked for that call.
Yeah, it looked like it malfunctioned on both sides.
Yes, it did. Well, if you're going to break fairly.
Break fairly, break evenly, right. If it's a clean break, that's all I got to say.
All right, looks like Zernick in the house on that outside split with your whole shot.
Yeah, Pete Zernick out of Sacramento, California. Here he comes on the Liquid Militia. Cowie triple.
McGregor second, going to be Austin in third.
Dan Masters in the fourth spot, 716, and Tony Candela Mesa. And Heavy B bringing up the rear.
No comment.
That's his nickname. Brian
just
Edwards. We call him Heavy B.
Oh, that was priceless.
All right, once again, though, it's Zernick, your race leader, down or out there on the top left-hand side of the track. We need our first race of the Pro Show. First race of the Pro Show, which is going to be our Pro-Am Ski Stock. Pro-Am Ski Stock. Race number 1 of the Pro Show. We're going to need you to the starting line. Once again, race number 1 of the Pro Show. We need you to the starting line. Pete Zernick coming from that inside split. Still dominate out here in the Vet Ski GP.
I do believe he's the current points leader as well on the national tour. Our final round going to be next weekend, not terribly far from here. That's going to be a double points race, which makes this race even more critical, Mike, because as you come into that final round, all of these racers wanting to get as many points as they can, trying to protect their position on that podium from that final double points race.
Yeah, that's right. Next weekend, Charleston, West Virginia, going to be a double points race. Also going to be on CBS Sports, folks. Make sure that you dial that in. I was looking back here, second place, McGregor with the pole in the water as he gets ready to head down the back straightaway. Trying to reel in Pete Zernick. Going to have a tough time doing that, though. And once again, Ralph McGregor out of Fuquay Varina, North Carolina, riding for Hurricane Racing and Judge Motorsports.
Great story behind the rider that you see on that front stretch. Pete Zernick on 149, unable to do the national tour, really, until the full tour until the last couple of years, and that's been a special thanks to a big sponsor of him. Speaking of sponsors, 1-800-RADIATOR actually was the one that actually got him out here and able to do the entire national tour, and that investment has paid off. He has definitely been dominating this Vet Ski GP class.
Well, you know, to go on the Pro Watercross Tour, sometimes you got to...
In the GP, it means pretty much whatever your limit on your credit card is going to be what your limit is of what you can put underneath the boat.
Yeah, I was going to say, it should be the GB class, the Go Big class.
Go Big class, right.
Go big with your wallet.
Halfway marks coming out, and then the vet indicates that you have to be 30 years or older to race in this class, a vet class. If you are a vet in runabout, you can be 35 or older, but in the vet ski, it's 30 years or older. So we've got older but fast, wily guys out on the track with really a lot of horsepower.
Yeah, these are the guys that have been around for a while. A lot of them have kids that are out there racing as well. If not, they sponsor a lot of the kids that are racing out there. As the courtesy flags come up right now, you can see Kevin Scott out there, our flag man this weekend, with the white flag and the checkered flag rolled up and crossed. That means for all you folks, it might be first down. And
kind of hard to maneuver back there. That oxygen in the water makes it have, it's an unstable feeling. Best way for me to describe it to you. Really, the technical thing is what it does a couple things. That oxygenation lifts the boat up. What are you laughing at me?
Nah, you said unstable the races. It just gives you that whole arena type feeling.
I thought you were talking about all the great food, and that's where you were going with it.
Well, there was a lot of great food back there. A lot of great food vendors as well.
Yep, like express food, but you're selling Philly steaks, chicken Phillies, steak and chicken pitas. Man, that sounds amazing. That's just one of them. Rio's Italian Ice, which I'll be scooting by there later.
Yummy. Papa's Peanuts and Snow Cones, Wild Dogs, they're all in the house today. Everybody came out.
Yep.
And we got some non-food vendors out there as well.
Yeah, we certainly do. Watercrafters, of course, your event sponsor for the 7th year in a row. Special thanks to Sam and all those guys. Really appreciate that. And, of course, Mom and Me Hand Stamp. They're going to be selling personalized hand stamp jewelry. There we go. Get some Mikey earrings.
Hey, there we go. I need some of those. Got Usborne Books and more. We got Damsel in Defense, 31 Gifts, and Still Groovin', baby. They'll be selling some handmade items down there. I'm looking forward to going down there and checking out Still Groovin'.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Mikey, we got something even for you. It says kids activities here. Woo-hoo. All You Can Jump has inflatables for the kids to enjoy. I have a suspicion we're going to have to keep booting you out of that.
I was going to say, don't you dare me.
Already did.
Don't you threaten me with a good time.
Once again, already did. White flag is out for Pete Zernick, boat number 149. Gentleman that is on that double yellow on the right-hand side of the track.
And once again, for all of you first-time spectators out there, the way that the scoring works with personal watercraft racing is all of these riders will have 3 motos, and it's very similar to motocross scoring. The lowest common denominator is your winner, but if you add up all 3 scores and there is a tie, it's whoever does best the third moto, and all third motos will be held tomorrow. So make sure you phone a friend today and bring them back tomorrow.
Yeah, speaking of working third motos, looks like McGregor is going to have to take charge on that one. Gentlemen, currently up in third, and look at Edwards making a push. If you can.
Edwards did very good a couple of weeks ago when we were in Pahrump, Nevada.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, he took 4th place up there in Pahrump.
I got to tell you, it's so fun to watch his son, Brandon Edwards, taking over that legacy. Of course, Brian's been a part of jet ski racing for, over 15 years. Now we've got Brandon taking over in that position, and that is going to be the win, Pete Zernick.
Yeah, congratulations, Sacramento's Pete Zernick, going to take the win right there. Again, Pete, sponsored by the Liquid Militia, HydroTurf, and the Gold Club.
And we are going to be going to this pro show next, which I have to kind of let you in on a couple of little secrets. One of the things that we do on the national tour is we will do a live stream as well as film for TV, and we will also be doing the live call for you right here in Lake Hartwell. So in just a minute, we're going to sound kind of weirder than normal.
Yeah, weirder than normal.
Weirder than normal. And the reason for that is that we're going to do the introduction for the... okay, maybe it'll just be me weirder than normal, but we'll be doing the introduction for the pro show. And we'll be doing that on the live stream, and then we will be coming right back to our live show as well. So just to let you know, that's kind of be that little intro.
That's it. Time for opening ceremonies.
By the way, I do want to remind you guys, go to prowatercross.com if you want to be a part of the live stream. He's also going to be doing a Facebook Live. We got over 600,000 viewers last weekend at the Atlantic City stop. Pro-Am Ski Stock is going to be our first pro race.
You guys have any problems getting in? Squared away? All right, folks, once again, we're going to go with our opening ceremonies here in just a couple of seconds. Got some special guests up here that we're going to be talking to. And we're just about ready to go live here in a moment.
You can do Brian.
Then I'll do Brian.
Deal.
Okay.
Got it.
Am I okay?
Yes,
Yeah, you're okay there.
This, though.
You too?
Oh, I see what you
Just come step up here, and I'll just step back and give you the microphone, okay?
This is just like a death trap. Okay, never mind.
Dawn will be talking to both of you.
Yep. All right.
And then when she's done talking to you guys, you guys will exit. Just hand me the microphone, and then I'll introduce Brian for the blessing of the event. And then we'll go into the national anthem, kick off right into racing. Say hello. All right, let's do this.
Oh, I read. You're still making fun of me on the weirdo comment.
I just couldn't imagine it getting any weirder. I can imagine what that would look like.
Us weirder?
Right.
I don't know that that's possible.
Definitely not. All right, on you, Rick. Producer.
All right.
So I'll fire it.
Ready?
Got a couple of different stats.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dawn Dawson, and I am here with the one and only, the incomparable, the legend himself, Mike Young.
I'm a legend because I'm old.
I didn't even say that to start it out.
I know what you were thinking. I got ESPN.
Whatever. Hey, I do want to thank you guys so much for joining us for the Hidden Trails Sea-Doo Pro Watercross National Tour presented by JetLift. We are here in gorgeous Lake Hartwell, Georgia. A couple of cool facts about Lake Hartwell. First off, this is a lake that actually was built in 1962 962 miles of shoreline, insanely huge, beautiful lake. It actually encompasses South Carolina and Georgia, and we are here right now and going to be enjoying a great weekend, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you'd have a lot of fun neighbors along the shoreline here, no doubt.
And about 10 million visitors every year, too, so it's a great way to meet new friends.
That's right. Round number 6, the Pro Watercross Tour. It's the Triple Crown of Watercross. But before we get started today, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a couple special guests.
Yeah,
Don?
I tell you, we got some great dignitaries to tell even more about this beautiful location. I am here with Ricky Carter from our county commissioner, actually, for Lake Hartwell. So if you want to tell me a little bit about what kind of cool things can we do in Georgia, and welcome.
Well, we got a beautiful Lake Hartwell in Hart County, and many other counties along the border, too. We got, like I say, 961 miles of shoreline, I believe that's right. I think you had it real close.
Was I close?
You're real close.
Okay.
But there's plenty of fishing to do in Lake Hartwell, plenty of boating, plenty of swimming. Anything you want to do on any other place, you can do right here in Lake Hartwell.
Now, what are some of the things that you guys are famous for? Because I just have a feeling you are.
Well, I think we're pretty famous for our politics. Wouldn't you say so much, Mike?
Man, where do you go with that? And the perfect year to bring that up. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
We're the only county in the state of Georgia that was named after a lady.
And Nancy Hart. Nancy Hart, okay.
She's a Revolutionary War hero, so we named after her.
That is really awesome. Now, when you say Revolutionary War hero, what all did she do?
I think she helped some of the tourists at bay so she could get information to other people. I don't remember all the details. That happened before my time.
That's very cool. That you guys named the county after her. Now, were you raised here?
No.
No?
Oh, yeah, I'm born and raised. I thought you said raised. I'm sorry. Yeah,
so that's a yes.
I was born and raised right here in Hart County. Been here all my life.
All right, so not to put you on the spot, but what's the best place to eat?
Ooh, there's too many of them to mention. I couldn't tell you the best place because I try to eat it all.
That is the greatest thing about coming down to Georgia, you guys. If you are a foodie in even the remotest sense, funnest thing to do is come to Georgia, and they are some of the best eateries, I think, on the planet. It is a beautiful, beautiful place to hang out as well.
Yeah, and good Southern hospitality.
And absolutely good Southern hospitality. Ricky, thank you so much for joining us today, sir. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to introduce this fella right here.
I would really love if you would.
This is our mayor, Brandon Johnson, and it really, really, really lets me know how old I am when the mayor is younger than I am by quite a bit.
What? No way. You're like, what, 21, right?
Yeah.
Brandon, pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you. I actually went to school with his son, so let's don't get that.
You're just rubbing it in now. You know that. I see how this is going to go. So you guys went to school together?
Yeah, went to school with his son. He's actually got 2 sons, and I'm 32 years old, and enjoy it. Lived here all my life, and think it's the best place in the world.
Oh, that's really cool. Tell me some of the cool things that you like to do here.
We do a lot of things: hunting, fishing, water sports, farming, eat good food, as you mentioned, and also I heard one of the other commentators said we're the Bible Belt. We go to church on Sunday.
That's the way to go. I love hanging out with you guys, and definitely is when they talk about Southern hospitality, Georgia for sure comes to mind, and of course Lake Hartwell. We're thrilled to be back out here.
Well, we are really glad you came back. I think we got several more years on the docket here. Next year, one of the great things is the city of Hartwell. You're going to have a brand new Hampton Inn to stay in, 3 stories. So we're very excited about that. So the accommodations should be better. We're going to try to market this thing bigger and better every year, so we have more visitors come check you out.
Cannot wait. Brandon, it was a pleasure to meet you. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Thanks.
Come and enjoy the races with us for the rest of the day.
I will.
We'll
Thank you.
get you on a boat. All right,
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
We've got Mike Young back up here, and at this point, I'd like to have Brian O'Rourke join us.
Yeah, Brian O is from Team Faith, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you listening in live, and for those of you listening in on the live stream, Brian O, special thanks for you and bringing the Team Faith devotionals to our pits. And I know that you've got a lot of sponsors that you'd like to thank. Let's thank them on the live stream.
Yeah, we are just super blessed and honored that everyone here would allow us to be their spiritual leaders and guides for the weekend. And, these guys don't get to go to church, Mike, because we're always traveling on the weekends. So we bring the church to the races, and we're honored to do that. We've got great sponsors like Fly Racing.
So we go to church on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, we do too. Hey, you guys are the Bible Belt. You're only going one day. I don't know. I'm kidding, of course. But Fly Racing, Western Power Sports, Pirelli, KTM actually helps us out. Jet Lift, great totes. If you see them on the beach, they're the best looking and they're the most functional totes on the water. If you need to get your jet ski around, they're the ones. prowatercraftracing.com, just a host of sponsors. You can go to our website at teamfaith.com and check us out. And there's some messages on there. There's some cool shots and photos and some rider bios on our guys that are going to be competing today. Kelly Smith in the Sport GP class and Dawson Doobie in the amateur ski stock class, and we're blessed and we're very appreciative that you guys would let us do what we do.
Well, it looks like that you've said your prayers this morning because it's a beautiful day out here for a blessing.
Yeah, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Everybody, let's pray. Heavenly Father, I just, as we're experiencing a loss in our sport with the passing of John Daly, we just ask for your blessing today, and we remember him as such a great person to be in our sport and such an innovator in the sport of freestyle watercross, actually. But we all need you, Lord, and we invite you to come and be part of our race today and a part of our event. We pray for a hedge of protection around this entire race site, that you'd keep everyone safe from harm. And Lord, somehow, some way, in your own way, use us to bring glory to the kingdom. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Brian. And ladies and gentlemen, if we could please get everybody to stand up, rise, remove your hats, and let's pay homage to those brave young men and women who are overseas fighting for our very right to be here to race today. Ladies and gentlemen, your national anthem.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, let's go racing.
All right, it's that time.
We got Pro-Am Ski Stock down on the line. That is going to be our first race for the Pro Show. And on the line out of Clearwater, Florida, sponsored by Riva Racing, HydroTurf, Clearwater, MortgageBroker.com. And Team Scream, boat number 2 is Gage Schoenherr. On boat number 10 out of Apex, North Carolina, sponsored by Hurricane Racing, Amsoil Imagination Fabrication. That is going to be Callaway Turner. Out of Miramar, Florida, sponsored by Broward Motorsports, Team Mean Racing, Wet Sport Racing, and Exotic Signs at Hamilton, boat number 51, Speedy David Cabrera. Out of Pomeroy, South Carolina, sponsored by Optima Racing and Hurricane Racing, boat number 77, Kenny McKenzie. Out of Harrison, Tennessee, on boat number 85, Kevin Rowe. Out of Macella, Georgia, sponsored by Rockwell, Spy, and ODI. That is going to be boat number 182, Brock Harris. And out of Holly Springs, North Carolina, sponsored by Judge Motorsports, Jam Racing, Hidden Trails Motorsports, IPD Graphics, ADA Racing, and ProWatercraftRacing.com. Boat number 300, Jimmy Wilson.
Do a great job.
Jimmy, did you get your holder?
And then
You got one. All right. You want one? Oh, there he is. He's working. I see.
Yeah.
Yoga paddleboard.
It's like his dad down there doing double duty, helping us out with the rubber band to get that set up, and also going to be holding the incomparable Mr. Wilson.
And then no cost slip and slide by the swim coat. Okay. All right.
All righty, folks, here we go with the start of the Triple Crown of Watercross. And I got to watch where I'm walking. I'm just tripping up in here.
I know.
By the way, I'd like to say a very special thanks to Oglethorpe Power, as well as Pharmatech Industries, the Farm Bureau here in Hart County, as well as our good friends from the Watercrafters, Georgia Power, South State Bank, AT&T, Eagle Oil Change, and Med Health, State Farm, the Hart County Chamber of Commerce, the Hart County Board of Commissioners, the City of Hartwell, and, of course, our friends at Ed Murdoch Superstores, where you can pick up your brand new Ford, Jeep, or Chrysler.
Hey, do you want to remind you guys, they have no-cost paddleboard demos over in the Cove and yoga paddleboard happening today.
Did you say yoga paddleboard?
I did. I immediately thought of you. And
I'm
then
totally downward dog on the paddleboard.
Stop it. Water slide and inflatables also for the little ones, and that is going to be our start as we watch our first race of the pro race.
All right, looks like Dave Cabrera with the early lead out there on the hydrospace. That throaty sounded ski out there, that's actually a 4-stroke personal watercraft. The only 4-stroke that's manufactured in the stand-up division as of today. I understand there's a lot of rumors going down, though. We'll talk about those in a little bit.
I was just going to say, no, I want to hear about it now. What's going on? You must have heard something. Looks like Jimmy Wilson on the inside split. That is going to be your battle for the whole shot as Jimmy carved that final turn. But Cabrera, look at the speed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, that the bottom end on that hydrospace is just a little bit more than the 2-stroke boat that Jimmy's on out there. And once again, Jimmy Wilson out of Holly Springs, North Carolina, riding for Judge Motorsports, Jam Racing, Hidden Trails, as well as IPD Graphics and ADA Racing.
Man, tricky and very technical course over on the right-hand side. They come out of that double yellow and then almost have to do a dogleg 180 turn back into a double red. And then they've got a snake series or a slalom section over also on that right-hand side, and that is part of that right-hand side of the track. Very technical part of the track. They've got a nice backstretch, allows them to open up this boat, and you are watching the stock class, so you're not going to hear kind of the loud growly sounds that you heard in the GP, but nevertheless, these boats still clocking upwards 50 miles an hour. 50 plus, and it's going to be Cabrera leading, Jimmy Wilson second. Boat number 182, Brock Harris in fourth. Let me see if I can't grab that number for our third place rider. Is that Brian? Oh, no, that's nothing. Nothing.
Racing, he says, no, it's just old age. The jelly in your eye starts to break down. He goes, some people.
And there's your battle down the back straightaway as you see Cabrera still your leader, followed by Jimmy Wilson.
I'm still go right ahead.
Was that the Gage that went down?
Yeah, it was Gage actually showing her that's in third. I think it was Brock that, no, Brock Harris in fourth. And Callaway Turner, maybe.
Yeah, it's Callaway, I believe, that went down there momentarily on that last time around. Again, here is your battle for first down the front straightaway. Going to be a drag race side by side.
Whoa.
And it looked like Wilson was going to try to take that line away, and Cabrera wasn't having it.
Yeah, so David Cabrera actually pulling a pro move there. Pretty smart call. Went over and took the line away from Jimmy Wilson. Does two things. Actually slows the momentum, but even more importantly, it takes away that clean water, which allows for that super smooth hookup. Wilson not to be defied, still within, wow, 9/100ths of a second, as they would say in the Olympics.
And take a look at him down the back straightaway, and you can tell Cabrera got a lot of mid to top range there. Jimmy ain't going anywhere, though. Staying right there. As they get ready to make the turn, come back into the closed course, top left-hand side of the track, and Cabrera will opt to go to the outside. We'll see Wilson will once again go to the inside, and, you know, that speaks volumes about the course marshals and the crew that we got out here, because they really timed those splits awesome, because I go to so many events, and, you know, they'll use the same split on the first lap, and then after that, everybody follows suit, and nobody will like either go to the inside or the outside. And when you got people that are switching back and forth, that means that they can actually pass during those splits.
Yeah, well said, Mike. And what he's referring to, if you look on that left-hand side of the track, it's an opportunity. So they've got a bunch of buoys over there, but what they can do is pick one side or the other after the first lap, and that gives them two things. It gives them some clean water a lot of times to work with to make a pass, and it also allows them to work around lapped riders as well. So again, deferring to what Mike Young was talking about, this is a great opportunity when you've got these split sections timed so closely. So huge shout out for these guys. Thanks for joining us, by the way, on the live stream. I want to say a special thanks to Visit West Virginia and those guys helping us out this year with the sponsorship for that. Visit West Virginia, and by golly, we will be in just a little bit. Yeah, for too long, definitely going to need some Shark energy drink. See, we got our camera guys hard at work. Rodney Hoffman down there making sure that we got some great shots. That's right, no camera yet. He's directing. Got Brody and Cody up in the tower. You are watching the first race of the Pro Show. And as we talked about, this is stock class. So again, they're very limited on what they can do underneath the hood. They can do some modifications, by the way, to the outside of the boat. Things they could do is modifications to the hull. They could do intake grates, different impellers, handle poles. Mostly external, though. Now, I will say those can make a tremendous amount of difference. Impeller, in particular, can really make or break you. And the gentleman that's currently running in the lead is topping it off for this Battle of the Manufacturers. Boat 51 is David Cabrera, and he's riding a Hydraspace, is what we originally called that boat. Hydraspace, a company over in Austria that first came out actually with a stand-up engine that was a 4-stroke engine, and of all places that actually occurred in Austria. That boat has actually changed names now. Another company purchased it, Benelli.
Yeah, you had a lot of very fast juniors when that boat first came out about, 10 to 12 years ago. You had a lot of very fast juniors out of Austria.
Yeah, Kevin Redder actually was one of them. Nico Lasselberger was another.
Yeah, Redder also a winner this year at Jet Cross over in Switzerland.
Yes, he's pretty much everything he's touched this year. He's been winning, also our defending world champion from last year, 2-time world champion from last year.
Hey, Nick, are we on 12 plus 1? Yeah.
Okay.
12 minutes. Is that doing right? Yeah. 10 or 12, depending
I think
on the
10.
class.
I think it was 10 for the stock.
I think it was 10 for the stock, 12 GP.
Yeah.
You guys getting sharps up here? We don't have any
All right, speaking of that, we do need some Shark energy drink. One is special for our brand new sponsor for the 2016 National Tour. You, on the other hand, are on the Shark diet. The stock runabout?
I think if they were doing 10 plus 1 for stock, 12 plus 1 for GP.
15.
Like
15 for the
15 for the runabout.
15 for the
15 for the runabout GP.
Yeah.
Right, so then it would still be 12 then for the stock.
Yeah.
It was 15.
I thought so, yeah. I thought in Atlantic City was 15. Oh, maybe.
Make it 12. I'm good with that.
I'm good with 12.
You ain't gonna see anything after 12 that you'll see it. Yeah. I think 12. Except maybe an explosion.
Explosions, yes.
But that can make it.
All right, counting down the laps, Mike, for we were just discussing that, how many minutes we were going to have on each one of these laps, and I do believe we were discussing 12 minutes plus a lap.
Yeah, 12 minutes plus a lap, I believe, for our...
most of our classes, anyway.
For most of our classes. I think this runabout stock is 10 plus 1. But our GP has been traditionally 15 plus 1, so we'll see. We'll see. Pro-Am Runabout GP, you're next up to the starting line. We need our Pro-Am Runabout GP riders. Please start making your way up there. Trey, Stan.
Did you really?
Stay, Tran, Cameron, Dustin, Tim, Brian, Eagle. We need all of you up here. How you doing, Eagle? Good to see you. Got the crew with you. I like it. I like it. Team Cowie in the house.
Wearing white and red.
Yeah, I think you're going to need some all-temperature cheer for that wetsuit immediately following this race, Eric. He didn't get the memo. It's a red clay lake, right?
What's you talking about? He's going to be going so fast, he's not going to get anything on him. Right, Eric?
That's all right. It's all good. That's why they make new wetsuits. That's why we get sponsors.
Oh, man.
Free stuff.
Francis, I swear I'm trying to keep him reined in, but you know how it goes, bud.
She hasn't even given me a Shark energy drink yet. Wait till I get one of those, buddy.
It is tough to keep a lid on Mr. Young. Well, in fact, it's impossible. In a good way. Again, Pro-Am Runabout GP, need to have you on the line. Pro-Am Runabout GP, you'll be coming at us next.
That's right. The fastest boats you're going to see, fastest riders on them coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Stock Ski out there right now. Stand-up class, your leader. As we take a look out there, I believe still Cabrera and Wilson going at it right here down the front straightaway. And still not seeing a white flag yet. Once again, Dave Cabrera, 49 years fast out of Miramar, Florida. Jimmy Wilson, 27 years fast out of North Carolina.
Yeah, I got to say, it's interesting, Mike, that we have been watching these guys the last several laps, and Wilson has not backed off of the pressure with David Cabrera, the gentleman on that number 300 boat.
Next year, you might have to miss a race. We're having a 2-day party in Atlanta.
Currently up in the points right now, in case you were following the national tour, with 247 points coming into this round. David Cabrera currently leading, and Jimmy Wilson back in third with 166 points. Gentleman that is not here, at least yet this weekend, but I did have a rumor that he was coming, is Mark Gomez with 177 points. That's how your top three look right now. So Cabrera firmly in control of it. With that lead as we go into our final round, which again is going to be a double points round for that national championship next week in Charleston, West Virginia. But you know what? We're here in Hart County, home to Lake Hartwell Dam and Big Oaks Recreation Area.
Hey, did you know this place that the Hart campground has 147 acres here? And,
oh, wow.
And 49 campsites.
Wait, how'd you get the fact sheet? Because I was hiding that from you. Dang it.
I know where all your secret hiding spots are.
I tell you, man, you foiled another good plan. I was all ready to throw all these trivia facts at you like I do every week.
Foiled again.
Foiled, man. Well, I did not know that, but I did know that they boast 220 miles of Lake Hartwell shoreline for camping, hiking, biking, picnicking, boating, swimming, and skiing. Also popular, all on the big water. Special thanks, by the way, to PWC Watercrafters for joining us this weekend and for being our sponsor for the 7th year in a row. Big shout out to Rob Moore, by the way, official celebrity photographer to the stars down there.
Yeah, man.
Making you famous, buddy. Well, okay, more famous. I'm just telling everybody how famous you already are. You are watching the ski stock class. This is the pro class. I hear the designations work like this. They start out if you're a beginner, so you have beginner racing. That'd be somebody that's never raced before, maybe up to 5 races. We call that the beginner racing. Then they go from there to novice racing, so that would be that next level up. And then they go from novice up to expert. And then from expert, they go to the pros. So when you hear us talking about the experts, by the way, it means it's an amateur class. So if I say an amateur, that means it's combined with pros and experts.
Yeah, that's my brother.
White flag is out.
He's in bad shape.
Final lap for these guys. We got Pro-Am Runabout GP coming at you next.
Goodie bags. Oh, sweet.
Appreciate the Farm Bureau being one of our sponsors this weekend for the Wet and Wild Lake Hartwell weekend. And man, there is all kinds of amazing food down there. Want to encourage you guys to check that out. By the way, if you are looking for a full schedule of events for the Wet and Wild weekend, you can go right over to the Watercrafters display and they will get you hooked up. Now, where's the Watercrafters display, Dawn? It is right next to the registration tent, and you guys are the Pro Watercross truck, and you can get set up right there. Checker flag is down for David Cabrera, who is going to take that win, and Jimmy Wilson on boat number 300 for second.
Congratulations, Broward Motorsports and David Cabrera. How you doing, Ronnie Mack? What are you pointing at? I'm right here. What's going on up there? Is it sunshine or is it clouds? What's going on? Are you got to pray to the photo gods? You need the clouds to part?
He is a photo god. He doesn't have to pray to them.
Yeah. He got some great pictures last week when we were up in Whiting, Indiana. He's got some pictures. I don't know if you've seen them on Facebook where you got the racers out there. You got the Chicago skyline in the background, and then you've got a water spout. It was sitting far offshore. We didn't see it, but I mean, you could see it in his pictures, plain as day.
What is it with you and all the interesting weather that comes up?
You're weatherman.
That's right. I'm not a weatherman, but I play well on TV.
Did you see the video of Liv's happy birthday last night?
I did. I was listening to John Boy and Billy this morning on the way in. I don't know if you know. They're like it's kind of like a NASCAR like radio show type deal, but they have a radio show every morning, and it was funny. They were talking about, there's never any more weather men. There's always weather women. Did you notice that, like, there's always weather women, it's funny because they had a big spin-off on it. How about the guys don't really care about the weather? They don't care about the weather. They care whether or not they get to watch them news women.
Why do you always fire off these topics where I have nowhere to go with them?
Well, I'm just it's just random, average, strange stuff that needs to be brought up because we're here at Hartwell.
I see how you are.
All right. I see how I are, too.
I like it. It's all good. You're cracking me up.
GP, I guess we better go back to work, huh?
You have to go back to work. I'm going to keep goofing off. Out of Charleston, West Virginia, sponsored by Hidden Trails Motorsports, Black Star, DEI, Jet Tribe, Riva, Engine Tech Superchargers, boat number 1, Trey Frame. Out of Glendale, Georgia, sponsored by Team Carey's R&D Racing, Extreme Propulsion, boat number 4, Stan Hightower. From Charleston, West Virginia, sponsored by Hidden Trails Motorsports, Black Star, DEI, Jet Tribe, Riva, Engine Tech Superchargers, boat 21, Cam Frame.
Out of Ackworth, Georgia, boat number 116 on the Monster Energy Sea-Doo, sponsored by Mountain Motorsports. That's the king, Dustin Farthing. Boat number 149 out of Bellevue, Florida, Tim Ducat, sponsored by Hidden Trails, Sea-Doo X Team, and Jet Trim. Out of Catawba, North Carolina, riding the factory Yamaha, sponsored by Fly Jet Lift. Champion is 502, the Tweaker, Brian Baldwin, and 911, the Eagle, Eric Francis, out of West Palm Beach, Florida. And it looks like one of our riders getting out of shape down there online. That might have been Farthing that got a little bit out of shape. And again, Francis riding for Kawasaki Reba Fly Quickie Sense, and here we go.
Baldwin.
Look at Farthing.
On that inside split, looking nice. Farthing exploding out of that outside. And that is going to be a big brouhaha between him and Francis.
Oh, my. And look at Farthing. That's a 600 horsepower boat.
Holy moly. And red flag is out, so that is going to be a tough break for those guys. But, man, that just gives you a little indication of what this race is going to look like.
Oh, yeah. Time to kick the tires and light the fires here at Lake Hartwell.
Man, I got to tell you, Mike, it looked really close on that start on the inside split. Brian Baldwin with a great timing on that.
Yeah, Baldwin looked like he was right there, and Farthing just out-horsepowered him around that sweeper. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if I'd want to be in that pontoon out there by that top white buoy right there.
I'm agreeing with you,
I think I would back up about at least another 100 feet, at least for this race.
Back that boat up. I have a feeling they just realized that because I'm seeing them rearranging things over there to move.
Right, I think they're rearranging their shorts.
Again.
Just saying.
Speechless.
Right, exactly. You got 90-mile-an-hour boats coming at you. Whoa, hey. What just happened?
Wow. All right, so I'm going to re-rack these guys. We'll see if there's going to be any penalty called for premature acceleration. Eric Francis, look down. He's down there doing a little...
we got it on video. It's all over Facebook. That's awesome.
All right, Don, looks like we're going to be going with a restart here. Have you heard anything from race director Nick on the call?
Not
No,
yet.
We don't have a radio, so we're monitoring somebody else's.
Yeah, we're just going to restart them. Looked like maybe
Another band malfunction.
another malfunction.
Let's blame it on the band.
Sorry, buddy.
When we talk about the band, folks, that is the rubber band. You see the orange rubber band. It's actually surgical tubing, and something that you really don't want to get hit by when it gets snapped. That will definitely give you a tattoo, one that you won't want to go home with or brag of.
Yes.
Until a couple of years later, then you might brag. Hey, and I was at this race one time, and what had happened was.
Keep going.
Sure.
Why do I feel like this is a real story for you? All right, so they're going to fire him up again, and you see Tim Ducat.
Yeah.
Didn't move it, but he just pushed that band a little bit and looked like they waited.
It looked like
big green flag. That'll be interesting.
Well, he had encroached just a little bit, but he didn't. He didn't take it all the way. I see red flags coming out. Yep.
See more red people.
All right. Well, let's see if the third time could be a charm here. Again, fastest boats, fastest riders. You know things are going to happen. Things are going to be wild and woolly here in this GP class. Farthing and Baldwin once again out in front on that second restart. Farthing on the Sea-Doo, Baldwin on the Yamaha. In case you're taking a look at the manufacturers, and Francis down there, I believe the lone Kawasaki on the line. Francis, a two-time runabout winner in our stock class here on the Pro Watercross Tour, and the current world champion in the Aqua X Series, which travels between here and England.
No, and it should. Well, although I have seen 40. That's right, and I have seen 40.
Pulling up and touching it, yeah, pull back in.
All right, here's how your points are stacking up for this round, or excuse me, for this season on the National Tour, with 293 points coming into this round. It's Dustin Farthing on boat number 116, Trey Frame in second with 228, and Tim Ducat with 221 points. And gentleman on the bubble right now, 149, Brian Baldwin, the tweaker. So you can certainly see why that gentleman on the pole position on the inside splint is definitely motivated to get a hole shot, see if he can rack up some points. So again, that's how we're looking for the Pro Runabout GP, and I'll see if they dock anybody on this one or if we're going to give them one more free pass.
Well, I know what's going on.
All right, so once again, we're going to look for a guilty party down online. Trey Frame, Stan Hightower, Cameron Frame, Dustin Farthing, Tim Ducat, Brian Baldwin, Eric Francis online right now. And Tim Ducat gets the call from Bellevue, Florida. That was kind of the way that we've seen it from up here. But they held him back all the way.
Wow, it's going to be a code green on that outside split, and look like a little bit of connection between Frame and Farthing.
Well, actually, that's Baldwin who goes to the outside. Farthing going to go to the inside. Nice. And it looked like Francis went way wide there on that first turn. Couldn't see what was going on.
That was where the connection was, because as they came into the setup on that turn, somebody got bumped, but it's going to be Farthing with the hole shot.
Baldwin settles in second. That's Frame in the third place, and I believe that's Trey Frame that's out there in this one. Cam normally rides in the runabout stock class. They have him listed down here. Not quite sure what the confusion is. We'll find out and get back to you on the second moto tomorrow, folks.
All right. Eric Francis in fourth. Tim Ducat in fifth. And
that's Hightower. That goes a little bit long right there. And Hightower, very fast rider.
It just lost $5, Mike.
$5. Okay, well that ain't much. Hey, that's a free entry here.
That's a beer later. Right?
That's right. That's a pie in the face at the Mexican restaurant.
Oh.
Birthday boy.
I don't think so. Considering how I never really did do that bet.
Thanks again for everything. Really appreciate it. Gotta go. We'll see you.
All right.
So the king, Dustin Farthing, with 19 combined national and world titles to his credit, is your leader out there, top left-hand side of the track. And boy, I'll tell you, with Francis going a little wide there, them swimmers out there had to be saying, uh-oh.
Yeah, I think anywhere on that back stretch, you're going to have to definitely pay attention, particularly in this class, because you are looking at boats that easily can exceed over 100 miles an hour. You typically won't find that today, Mike, but 90 miles an hour will not be unusual.
Yeah, you're not going to find that with this many turns in the track, but Farthing will be approaching speeds on that back straightaway in mid-90s, no doubt about it.
Okay.
Sport GP is coming up next, folks. Race number 12 for those of you who are listening in on the 24/7 live stream, brought to you by Visit West Virginia. Speaking of visiting West Virginia, we're going to be visiting West Virginia next week.
We most certainly will for double points and the national championship, which will be our final on this big tour. We actually start out in Florida down in May and then work our way all across the country.
Next week, we're going to be rolling on the river.
Right now, we are rolling on an awesome lake. I am loving Lake Hartwell.
You know, and I'm really starting to like what we got going on outside the track again. You know, the build-up of boats, the flotilla, if you will, of boats that are hanging out on the outside. Makes it look a lot, very much reminiscent of an arena out here this weekend.
Yeah, most certainly. And I think the other thing that you're doing is probably looking for two new friends, because you are constantly on the lookout for, let's see, which boat should I be announcing on?
Yeah, exactly. I wonder how far this thing will reach. You wouldn't mind if I went out there on a boat and announced this afternoon for a little bit, would you?
Not at all, sir, as long as you invite me.
All right, get the blender ready.
Keep you slurring it for me.
All righty, Dustin Farthing, gentlemen, on boat number 116 that we had been talking about, with the exception of one race, pretty much has been flawless this year. And the race that he had that issue on was in St. George, Utah, and it was Trey Frame ended up taking the win that weekend.
Yeah, I'll tell you, boat went down, had his stock boat out, still took second on his stock boat in the GP class, which is very commendable. The racer in him, and you can see he's got about a half lap lead over the rest of the pack. You see him make the turn, going back into the closed course, top left-hand side of the track. That's where you'll find your leader, outside split.
You know, I was talking to his son, who also races, was down there looking at the course earlier today, and he said, it's the first time I ever saw my dad fall off a boat was this year, actually, on the national tour, and that was that race down in Florida where he had come into that turn so tightly and actually launched himself. One of the first times I've ever seen Dustin go off a boat. Doesn't happen often.
Hey, we got one of our retired runabout racers here with us, Rob Greenwald. Let's talk a little bit about runabout racing, Rob.
Okay, Mike, what do you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about the G's that like Dustin's turning right now. How hard is it for him to hold on to that boat? As you see him up there, top left-hand side of the track, he has to whip that boat around 180.
It's ridiculously hard. That's why everybody is setting up their boats. You can actually pull almost 3 lateral G's if you're really hooked up and burring it hard into a corner. I've seen people break bones, break wrists. So, and Dustin, it's amazing how he stays on as hard as he can turn that boat.
You know, I can't wait till I see these three riders get together: James Bushell, Dustin Farthing, and Georgi Kaza.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite the show at finals this year. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it should be pretty awesome. All of those guys have boats that are set up very uniquely, individually, but again, all their engines are just about the same.
Yeah, it's the difference is really how good a shape you're in and how locked in you are when you're turning one of those beasts, because the acceleration is just phenomenal. Like Dustin's boat's got a 1.80 to 60.
Wow. Yeah, I was looking yesterday. I seen on Facebook they were saying it was 600 horsepower and all carbon fiber.
Yeah, it's definitely a beast, man. You got to admire any of these guys are out there hammering away, staying on that thing for 12 plus 1.
Tell me, if you had to go to your local carbon fiber and 600 horsepower provider, how much would that boat set you back?
You know, I'm not an expert on this, but I'd say it's definitely upwards of $40,000.
40, yeah. I was thinking closer 40, 50. But, or Georgi Kaza was telling me a couple of weeks ago in Switzerland that he was actually, he actually got 60 grand in his boat. And looks like Brian Baldwin goes down out there, top left-hand side of the track. And Farthing, I don't know if Farthing's just off the gas or if he's got a mechanical issue. This could spell trouble.
No, it looks like a lanyard.
Oh,
a lanyard. Maybe not.
Maybe not. And I'll tell you what, 15 minutes plus a lap, a lot of time for a lot of these GP boats to hold together out there.
Well, you know, you're putting that much power down through an engine. I mean, that thing's wound tighter than a squirrel in a box of walnuts.
And I've seen that squirrel before. That's the funny thing. So it looks like he's got her running again, and he's ahead of Frame. That's second place on the black boat out there. Uh-oh, and Frame goes by. Dustin's going to let him by, jump back in. That's Francis, boat number 911, in the third place position right now. And will Dustin let Francis go by as well? Can't help but think he's got to be down a cylinder.
Yeah, something's definitely going on, because there he is. He's legging it up in the back straight, lighting it up hard, and then let's just see if it cuts out again. No, it's looking good.
All right, well, Frame goes to the outside. Farthing going to go to the inside.
Just look at the cuts.
I certainly. Yeah, I'll tell you, Farthing, he's still got time, though. He's still got time. Let's check with the boss over here, see how much time we've got down. 5 minutes left on the clock for Farthing. Let's see if he can get this thing going.
That's a lifetime when it comes to.
And again, the hand goes up. You can tell he's got a bad mechanical issue. He's not just playing around trying to pass out there. So you got Frame that's out in front right now, followed by the Eagle, Eric Francis on the Kawasaki in second.
And yeah, from my eyeball on your sheet, Frame's second in the points right now.
Yeah, Frame is second in points, doing very good. Spent a lot more time with us this year on tour than he has the past couple of years, as he's been building up his dealership, Hidden Trails Motorsports, located up there in Charleston, West Virginia.
Yeah, very nice, beautiful facility.
So Frame and Francis, the F troop out in front.
Francis does a little freestyle in that turn.
And it looks like Tim Ducat, the benefactor of Farthing, going down as he moves up into a podium spot, boat number 149 out of Bellevue, Florida.
Yeah, but there's still 2 more motos to go.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of time. And both the motos, both the extra motos from the Pro Show, you'll get to see tomorrow, folks. You'll get to see another moto after this. Actually, 2 motos for most of the amateur classes after our Pro Show. And again, our Pro Show today consists of the Pro-Am Runabout GP, the Sport GP. After Sport GP, I believe we're going to Amateur Freestyle. Then we've got the Pro-Am Runabout Box Stock and Pro-Am Ski GP. So that is your Pro Show for today. Should take us till about 1:15, 1:30 to get done with that. And Farthing taking a look over to see if his pit crew was standing by down there. It looked like he wanted to pull in to check something real quick, but he's going to go ahead and keep it out there for another lap. Got to keep racing.
Yeah, you never know, because someone else could break and he could get that one slot back.
Now, you know, the one thing that I like about the King, Dustin Farthing, is the fact that, not the fact that he's got 19 national and world titles combined, but the fact that, you know what he's doing this year with all of his prize money? He has given it to a charity hospital for children in Atlanta. And I heard that as of last week, he had just about $14,000 in prize money that he's already raised for this great charity. Hats off to the King. Nothing like doing a good deed. And again, second place down the front straightaway. The Eagle, Eric Francis, who has been doing stellar in that other series that we've been talking about, the Aquacross, which is more of an endurance type series.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Mike, it sure would be a nice day to be on one of those boats out there on that lake.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'm sure that they're enjoying themselves. That's one of the, like you say, one of the allures about coming here to Lake Hartwell. You know, it's almost kind of like we got a watercross arena right here, the way that the shore is shaped and the way that the boats kind of close us in. 2 minutes left on the clock, 2 minutes plus 1 lap. You see Kevin Scott, our flag man out there, holding up the 2 card. That signifies 2 minutes to our riders out there. Then he'll turn it to the 1 minute. Next lap around after that, he'll give him the white flag. That's the way things go in case you're a first-timer here in personal walk. Yeah, I noticed that he spun out. And that's the way we view it here from the Hidden Trail Sea-Doo, Tower of Power. Hope everybody's having a great time watching on at home at our Visit West Virginia live stream. A big shout out to Carrie Rivard, who's listening in from Simply Hair and Nails in Tavares, Florida. Well, Naples, if you win, you get to wear the black number 2, black background, white number 1. Well. All right, so once again, the white flag out for Trey Frame. Second place, still the 911 of Eric Francis, 149. Ducat rounds out your top 3 with less than 1 to go. Only about a half 1 to go for your leader. Trey Frame again riding for Hidden Trails Motorsports. Trey also sponsored by Jet Tribe, Riva, Black Star, and Engine Tech Superchargers, all helping out his campaign this year. And out comes the checkered flag. So Farthing's going to wait for that checkered flag so he doesn't have to take that boat for another lap. There we go. How about it? Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Trey Frame from Charleston, West Virginia. And the second place, now coming from the outside split, it's going to be the Eagle, Eric Francis. Francis will take second on the Kawasaki, and Tim Ducat, 149, after starting with a dead engine, works his way back up into third. So congratulations, folks. There's your top 3. And that was race number 11, our Pro-Am Runabout GP. I have no idea where she went. Sport GP, folks, will be coming up next. Sport GP will be coming up next. By the way, anybody got any Shark Energy out there? Please help us out at the Tower of Power. Shark Energy. That's what we're looking for. Again, special thanks to our good friends, the Watercrafters, who are located right back here behind us. Make sure you stop back and support those who support the sport. Nobody does it like Sam and Sammy at the Watercrafters.
We're going to go down and set up our little game.
Dawson, grab a couple sharks while you're by the cooler over there.
I was like, huh? That's it, yeah.
Right next to the sharks, right?
All right, you guys, we've got Sport GP coming up next. Down on the line out of Ludington, Michigan, sponsored by Team Faith, Fly Racing, WPS, Pirelli, KTM, Jet Lift, Pro Watercraft Racing, AMSOIL, Jet Dynamic, M&M Marine, Sunstar, Tubeless, and Liquid Performance. It's boat number 1. And your defending national champion, Kelly Smith.
And out of Lizella, Georgia, on the Deuce, riding from McCallum Hauling, Central Georgia Power Sports, and Bassett Racing, Cody McCallum.
And he's out of Cooper City, Florida, sponsored by Broward Motorsports, Judge Motorsports, Exotic Signs, Shoei, Jet Pilot, Hamilton's, ISAW, Jet Lift, and Thrust Innovations. Boat number 13, Sam Nemi, your current points leader.
And boat number 14 out of Naples, Florida, riding atop of Yamaha, sponsored by Wade Shape and Performance, Broward Motorsports, Exotic Signs, and Hamilton's Customs. That's KD, Keith Dill.
And out of Naples, Florida, sponsored by HPE, AMSOIL, and Scott Goggles. It's boat number 18, Sean Reynolds.
Boat number 43 is out of St. Petersburg, Florida, riding for Jersey Mike Subs. That's Michael Osborne.
Out of Mims, Florida, sponsored by Trinity Jet Pilot, HydroTurf, Novi, KC Whitetails, 72, Johnny Smith.
Out of Osteen, Florida, riding for Optimal Racing, boat number 77 is Glenn Young.
Out of Dawsonville, Georgia, sponsored by IPD Graphics, Riva Racing, and Extreme Throttle, boat 86, Kyle Hayes.
Boat number 111 out of Christmas, Florida, riding for Walker Racing, Anderson Racing, Watusi, as well as Myler and LBCS. That is Richard Taylor.
Out of Bel Air Beach, Florida, sponsored, looking for sponsors, boat number 375, Robert Cias.
And rounding out your field, boat number 910 from Cumming, Georgia, riding for Steel Tech, dedicated plastic tanks. And Jet X, it's Jeff McPhail.
And that is your lineup for your Sport GP class. So again, it's the hybrid class that Mike and I had talked to you about earlier today. But the difference now is that we are looking at GP, which again, when we talk GP, that's pretty much open your wallet.
Open your wallet, that's right. Going to cost you a lot of money if you want to be competitive in this one.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it'll cost you a lot less in this one than it would the Runabout GP.
Okay, fair enough. Well, maybe. Just taking a quick look down there to see who is on our polls.
Who's on first?
See Sam Nemi second. I do believe that is
I see a lot
Kelly
of our fans
Smith.
out there walking it out.
Right? All right.
Yeah.
Walkie.
Dylan Osborne, are you walking it out?
Don't answer, Dylan.
There we go.
Oh, he's like, yes.
White men can dance.
Scary. Very scary. I want to say a special thanks to our tour sponsor, Shark Energy Drink, which I noticed Mike Young has already dipped into the Shark. Oh, Lordy. Also, a special thanks to our official prop for the 2016 tour, Solus. Get hooked up. Get a hole shot. Get Solus. Third, Big Glenn Young fourth, and Richard Taylor in fifth.
Yeah, Taylor was in fifth, just took that spot away from Young. Young slides back into fifth. Sean Reynolds in sixth. As we take a look out there, Cody McCallum in seventh. And that's as far back as we're going this time around. Looks like Johnny Smith might be having some technical issues out there. Not quite sure what happened. Riding around in the middle of the track right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what went down there. I know that he worked really hard to get out here for the last two rounds. KC Whitetails helping him out.
Oh, and he's visibly upset. You know, hey, there's something wrong with that boat.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So a tough break there for Johnny Smith, who had to be one of our favorites for this class here this weekend.
Yeah, I tell you, watching him at the two races out in Florida and getting a chance to catch up with him at Atlantic City was sure fun. A guy can definitely ride a boat, and the story behind him is even more impressive. Top three riders, meanwhile, Sam Nemi, Keith Dill, and Kelly Smith.
Yeah, Dawn, I was absent for Atlantic City. How did things go here in this Sport GP class?
Well, interestingly enough, you know, whenever you're racing in surf, it definitely adds another element to that. Nemi looked really good all weekend long. Kelly Smith and Johnny Smith both giving him a lot of battling, but it turned out with Sam Nemi once again on top. Of course, Dustin Farthing, after all the excitement out at St. George, coming back to Atlantic City and just cleaned house. Devin Farthing and slamming Sam Nemi in the juniors class with Hayden and Taylor Skellett. Turned out to be some of the most exciting racing this weekend. It was a lot of fun to watch them.
Fantastic, and the juniors will be coming up after the pro show today, folks, so make sure you stick around for the juniors. By the way, I'd like to say a very special thanks to another one of our sponsors out here this weekend, Mountain Motorsports, which they have several locations over in the Atlanta metro area.
Really appreciate those guys helping out. And, of course, Dustin Farthing and Ryan Hardwick, the definite partners up there of crime. And, man, those guys have really exploded. Keep opening stores every year. I do believe they're open 6 stores total for Mountain Motorsports. So a great story behind a company that supports and takes care of pro watercross. Speaking of pro watercross, a gentleman on the lead on that front stretch, Sam Nemi on 13, and it looks like another boat coming in with problems.
Yeah, it looks like boat number 410, Jeff McPhail. And McPhail been having a bunch of mechanical issues this year. Last year did very well on the tour. This year he's been plagued by gremlins.
Yeah, it's an interesting life cycle, right? So his very first year that we saw him, which was 2 years ago, he was starting out in Florida. First time you and I got a chance to watch him race. Man, did he catch the bug. Next year he went to every single round, ended up on the podium, and then like you said, this year, I don't know, maybe just stepped up the program, but couldn't quite get the combination together. Tough break.
Wow, and just taking a look down, I see some stuff going on right now with a race director, race promoter rather, AJ Handler and Johnny Smith. Not quite sure if something happened on that first turn that we may have missed out on.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
very tight though. Your leader's still Sam Nemi though, top right-hand side of the track, and you can see Sam working his way through the chicanes. Much smaller track for the sports and the ski riders than it is the runabouts. The runabouts use the whole track, the extended right-hand side of the track. You see it's kind of abbreviated as we view it now.
We'll be having a Pro-Am runabout box. And sound like Glenn Young on boat number 77, another gentleman that is a past national title holder in this class. Back 2 years ago, won the class. Having some, I'm not sure if it's boat issues or he's just got a very loud boat out there, but I'm going to be guessing maybe just a little bit of horsepower loss of control. Again, you're watching Sport GP. Interesting that this is a hull that hasn't actually been manufactured by Yamaha or Cedo since the mid-90s. And yet there's been such a huge push for this class to come back. They actually started building these boats in aftermarket companies. Aftermarket parts really exploded on that. And this has been one of the more popular classes the last couple of years. And not at all surprised, Mike and I, to see full gates quite often in these classes.
Hey, a big shout out to Mike Smith, who is watching on from down in Melbourne, Florida, cheering on his son, Johnny.
right, again, Sport GP is what you're watching out on the track as we continue working our way through the pro show. And it's Sam Nemi, the gentleman that has come into this points round in the lead. And he is leading out on the track, boat number 13. Isn't it funny? It's boat number 13 in the lead, and boat number 14 is in second. Boat number 1 is in third. That's Kelly Smith. Kelly aboard the HX boat, a little bit different from the blaster hull. You can see a much longer hull set up on that HX. Right behind Kelly Smith, gentleman on boat number 111, the Triple Aces, is Richard Taylor. Richard aboard that bright red boat. He's got an orange helmet if you're looking for Richard out on the track. Noticing that the yellow buoy is starting to get a little closer together. I think that might be a bit of an advantage for these riders coming through. I will say that whenever you have to do a double, set you up and then dunk underneath your shoulder and making the pass. So keep your eye on the right-hand side of that track for that double. The double-double, if you will. Sounds like about the In-N-Out burger, for crying out loud. Can I have a double-double? All right, a couple more laps to go for the Sport GP class. We're going to be going to amateur freestyle next.
Hey, by the way, Don, while we have the opportunity, I'd like to say a very special thanks to all of our Wet and Wild Lake Hartwell box stop Nemi